Part two for appraisals. So we've presented the appraisal package. The appraisers came back and say the property didn't appraise. He didn't agree with everything that we came up with comp-wise. The first thing we do is not go back to our client, the seller, and ask them to reduce the price, which you see most agents do. What we're going to do is try to challenge the appraisal. If there's anything wrong with that appraisal, if they didn't use the same comps, like we can actually challenge that and see if we can't get that price adjusted, and sometimes that works. If we do that and it doesn't work, the next thing we do is not go back to the seller again. We're actually going to go back to the buyer and tell him that we had an unfair appraisal and we want him to come up with the difference. This is the price he agreed to pay. This is what we want. We put it back on him. And I'll tell you, most agents don't do that. I had one recently, it was like 17,000 under, and I called the agent up, said, hey, sorry for your luck. The house didn't appraise. We want you to reduce the price. I was working on the buyer side on this one. And I had an answer in 5 minutes. They came back and said, okay, the price reduced. Win for my client. He got the house reduced. Flip side, when you're the listing agent, that's not what you do. You have to take these steps to try to make the most of it for your client so he gets the most value for his property. And you got to ask. If you don't go through these steps and ask, you're not working for your client. So make that request. And maybe they'd come back and you're like, you know what, we can't do the whole 17, but we'll do 10. Well, I just got you $10,000 over the appraised value just by simply proposing that. And if you have multiple offers, it gives you a position of power where it's more likely for that buyer to come up. So the easiest way, in my mind, to figure out, like, okay, how do I know if my agent's going to negotiate for me? When you're interviewing them, ask them to reduce their commission. Come in and say, hey, we want a commission reduction. Your commission's too high. If they're willing to bend on that because they have nothing else to offer but to reduce their commission, that kind of gives you an idea, like, okay, they're not willing to negotiate for how they feed their family and take care of themselves. How do you think they're going to negotiate for you when it's your money and not theirs? Just some food for thought.